and discomforts, test you with pleasure and hardship. So everything that you enjoy today as pleasure is a test from Allah. Your life itself, your good health, your good job, your comfortable accommodation, your beautiful wife, your children,
your produce,
everything are trials. You know, like someone these days, Muslims are in the habit of paraphrasing from the Quran. You know, when Allah gives them a house, they say, "Hada min fadli Rabbi." This is among the favors of my Lord, and they stop there. But then the verse does not end there. He said, "Hada min fadli Rabbi li ablu'ani ashkuru am akfuru." This is a favor from my Lord to try me and see whether I will show gratitude or I will be ungrateful. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in that verse, فَمَنْ شَكَرَ, whoever shows gratitude, فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ, the gratitude he shows or she shows is for her benefit. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ, and whoever becomes insolent and ungrateful, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ, then let that person be reassured that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, richer than the whole world. So everything that happens to you is a test. If it is pleasure, you strive to pass by showing gratitude. And again, let us look at the example of Sayyidina Sulaiman. Alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah has blessed him so much, and he said, ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضى واصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين. Sayyidina Sulaiman, Sulaiman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored him. Allah gave him dominion. Allah gave him knowledge. Allah gave him prophethood. And Allah gave him power over forces of nature. He could hear the conversation of ants. He understands the language of birds. He has control over the jinns. He has control over the elements. Allah has blessed him so much that he himself said, "Oh Allah." No. He said, "Oh Allah, please do not, I beg you, don't bless any other human being the way you have blessed me. لا ينبغي لأحد من بعدي أبدا ربي هب لي ملكا." Oh Allah, please gift me with such dominion as you do not give to any other one after me. So the way to pass the trial of pleasure is gratitude. And the way to pass the trial of hardship is patience and perseverance. Short circuit, no way. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Actually, on this my question, I just want clarification. As a muta'allim, my question goes with your lecture yesterday, sir.
Okay.
Sheikh. And I think I'm a bit confused on a particular issue. And my question has to do with Shaitan.
Shaitan.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to the teachings you gave us in the then days, you said before the creation of man, Allah has been in existence with the Malaikas, the angels, and they've been doing fine. And I believe he gave them commandments that thou shalt not worship any other thing apart from me. Then came the creation of man, and from what we heard, it was Shaitan that even went as far as bringing the mud for creating man. Then came the first commandment, second commandment. First commandment, thou shalt not worship. God has given them the instruction. Then came the second commandment, bow down for man. Shaitan refused bowing down for Adam, and for that we were told God casted him out. Sir, my question is, for Shaitan not to bow down for Adam, can we not put it that he's still respecting and obeying Allah's commandment? Because Allah said earlier that do not bow for anything before me. Should we accuse him of shirk?
Thank you very much. First, let me clarify that man, angels, and jinns are created from different sources. The angels were created from lights. The nature of angels is such that they do not have will. Alright? They are unlike men and jinn. Because the angels لا يأكلون ولا يشربون ولا ينامون ولا يعصون الله ما أمرهم وهم عباد مكرمون. This is the nature of the angels. لا يأكلون. By their nature, they do not need to eat to survive. That's the way Allah has created them. They do not drink. They don't need sleep. Right? It's 100% efficiency. They don't sleep. Their batteries don't get discharged. Right? La ya'suna Allah ma amarahu. They lack the capacity to disobey. Because Allah has not created them with a free will. They do not have a will. They are pure and honored servants of Allah. Now Iblis was not an angel. Kana min al-jinn. The Quran has established that Kana min al-jinn. He was a jinn. It was because of his devotion that Allah chose to elevate him. Notes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the comprehensive plan of how he wants to run the universe. He has the knowledge, of everything that was, everything that is, and everything that will be. So Shaitan were told Iblis, worship Allah without committing any sin, without going against any rule of Allah, without breaking any commandment for 6,000 years. We do not know whether it is based on the earthly calculation of night and day, weeks and months, months and years, or it is based on the heavenly calculation of one day with Allah being equal to 50,000 years. But whichever applies of both, whether it is 24 hours make one day, or 50,000 years make one day, 6,000 years is not a joke. So he worshipped Allah without fail, without let or hindrance for 6,000 years. Allah has elevated him, so he is always in the assembly of angels. The angels have limited and relative access to Lawhil Mahfuz. Lawhil Mahfuz is like the what is this card that you put in our phone for storing information? SD card, not SIM card.
Memory card.
The memory card. I'm just comparing it so that I'm not saying Lawhil Mahfuz is
Memory card.
but I want us to compare it. It's like the memory card. You format memory cards and you store information. But the memory card is not a hard disk. The information that the memory card can hold is limited relative to the information that the hard disk holds. So, for us to understand, there are two books, the Lawhil Mahfuz and the Kitab. The Kitab is only known to Allah. The Lawhil Mahfuz, the angels has some limited access to it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, يَمْحُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيُثْبِتُ وَعِنْدَهُ أُمُّ الْكِتَابِ يَمْحُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ. Allah erases whatever He wills. Alright? Whatever you put on the memory card, you could delete. And you could replace with something else. That's for an example. وَيُثْبِتُ, and Allah causes, alright, to be documented permanently, whatever He wills. But the mother of the books, Kitab, is with Him, and He has exclusive access to it. Now, remember also that in the Quran, Allah told us about free will, which the angels lacked. He says, إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والكتاب فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا. Indeed, Allah gave the trusts amana. Amana in this instance is interpreted as free will, the relative ability, and I want to underline relative ability to prescribe your means and choose your ends, to act or refuse to act. Limited as in you have two legs. You have a choice to raise one and stand on one. You can raise both. That is the limit of your free will. And that's why it's relative. So it was offered to the heavens and the earth, but they refused. They were afraid that they would not be able to live up to expectation. You know, this will is common to men and jinn. But the jinn, in the order of creation, were our seniors. They came before us. So Iblis had the free will, the power of choice, which the angels did not have. It is a principle that we must bear in mind. That when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed them of his plan, not only to create Adam, but to give the CO of the earth to Adam. The angels said, because the earth had been in existence long before humans were created, we were the last. Trees, rivers, mountains, everything had been created before we came. The earth was indeed a very beautiful place. The air was salubrious. There was symphony and harmony. The beauty was a thing to behold. All right? Rivers, springs, meadows, birds flying, perching, singing, everything was beautiful and well coordinated. The angel said, أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا, because of the limited access they have, he said, Oh Allah, أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ. Do you want to give this beautiful place to the one who has the capacity to defile it? Innate tendency to be corrupt and to be murderous. Because they had seen that much about the ability or the qualities of man that was to be created. But for the angels, it was not out of envy. It was not out of jealousy. The angels could not occupy the earth. The angels were not earthly beings. The jinns were not also, really, strictly speaking, earthly beings. They were ethereal. That means they exist, but they do not have a form of their own. They could assume any form. A tree, a rock, they could flow with the river, they could enter into animals, they could enter into human beings. That was the nature of the jinns. Now because Shaitan was from the jinn and he had free will, when the angels said that, Allah told them, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. He drew their attention to the limits of their knowledge, and that they only have limited information about this being. That's why he told them, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. I know what you don't know. Alright? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as part of his overall plan, tested them. Okay, let me show you that your knowledge is only relative. And وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا عَلَّمَ اللَّهُ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. That is the nature, that is the heritage that Allah has reserved for man. Allah taught Adam the names and essence of everything. It was not part of Allah's plan, and it is not in the nature of angel to be so knowledgeable. Giving them such knowledge will be contrary to their nature, and it will be incompatible with their nature. A 16 gig phone, cannot take a 106 gig memory card. Is it possible? It's incompatible.
Unless they have expansion slot.
Then it will not be 16.
Anymore.
Because if you put, even if it has expansion slots, there is a limit of this expansion.
Yes.
If you put 32, yes, it will function. All right, but if you put 64, it will slow down the system.
128.
Or you put 128, the system is dead. So everything according to its nature. So Allah, after the tests, now said, Isjudu li Adam. Remember that Allah is absolute. And the sajda that is referred to in this verse is not the sajda as we understand it now. Remember, Allah is the lawmaker. Alright? ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها ناتي بخير منها أو مثلها ألم تعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير. So at that point in time, the commandment of Allah is isjudu li Adam fasajadu. The angels, remember, لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم. They will not disobey anything that Allah has commanded them. But then Iblis complained to Allah, said, what's up? أنا خير من هذا. I am better than this. خلقتني من نار. You have created me from fire. وخلقته من طين. And you have created it from mud. That is when Allah asked him, ما منعك ألا تسجد لمن خلقت بيدي. What prevented you from prostrating before a being that I've created with my hand and I've commanded you to prostrate? He said, excuse sir, the reason is simple, sir. I'm better than this one. Egbe miladogba. Egbe bibo. Ana khairu min. I'm better in everything. I'm older. I'm more exposed. I came here to this assembly before you in all, ramifications and departments of life. I'm superior. لهذا صار إبليس أساس العصبية. Iblis became the founder of Asabiya, tribalism, ethnocentrism. Then Allah said, well, because you refuse, I have commanded you, you refuse and you become insolent and proud. I have condemned you. He said, but God, sir, excuse sir. He said, you are just. And you not treat anyone unjustly. Can I make a request? Allah said, go ahead. He said, Indurni ila yawmi yub'athun. I know that you have power. So spare my life. Until the day of judgment. That is the request. But you see, وَمَا اللَّهُ يُرِيدُ ظِلْمًا لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Allah will not treat anyone unjustly. For his worship, Allah granted his request. So why? By way of digression. Why? You are not worse than Iblis. Iblis prayed and Allah accepted his prayer. Why do you think Allah will not accept your own prayer? You cannot be worse than Iblis. Why do you think Allah will not accept your prayer? Because you have committed sin. Iblis committed the worst sin, and yet Allah accepted his prayer. Then Allah told him, إِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنذَرِينَ. You are of those we will grant respite إِلَى يَوْمِ الْوَقْتِ الْمَعْلُومِ, until a day and a time that you do not know or we know. After this, Iblis said, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. because now you have rejected me and turned me into a rebel. لَأَقْعُدَنَّ عَنْهُمْ I will waylay them. I will lay ambush. General.
Yes, sir.
Iblis promised to lay ambush. And he said it. He said, "An aymanihim wa an shama'ilihim wa lan tajid aktharahum shakirin." I will lead them in front of them, min bayni aydihim wa min khalfihim wa an aymanihim wa an shama'ilihim, in front of them and behind them, to their right and to their left. I will always be there to suggest and confuse them and create doubt in their hearts. And most of them will become ultimately ungrateful to you. But he added, "Illa ibadaka minhumul mukhlasun," except the sincere servant of yours among them. So, Iblis had free will. He chose to exercise his free will, and he earned the wrath of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. There is no incongruence, there is no inconsistencies, there is no contradiction, because we are talking about the ultimate lawgiver who has spoken about himself, "La yus'alu amma yaf'alu wa hum yus'alun." No one can ask me how, why, but I will ask everyone. And legislation are in stages. At that point in time, there were no laws. This is what I want to correct. At that time, there were no laws. Revelation. You know, then there were no human beings, so there were no prophets. The angels were not capable of disobeying Allah because they had no free will. All right, the jinns had limited free will. All right, but and they had limited guidance. So it was the exercise of the will of Iblis that earned him eternal damnation and condemnation. So, and that is why the commandment that you referred to were later revelations. Allah did not ask the angels not to prostrate before any other than Allah. They were even incapable of doing that. It was in the overall plan of Allah that Iblis will become a rebel, and Iblis will become our albatross, so that Iblis will become a means by which he will try and test us. And he has sufficiently equipped us with knowledge as to who Iblis is. That's why the first thing he told Adam is that innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. Shaitan is indeed an avowed enemy to you. So be careful. Well, there is more to say, but I don't want to take a whole day answering one question. If you are not satisfied with the answer that I have given, then we could, talk later.
Alhamdulillah. Abdur-Rahman. Allah educates good for us. May Allah increase in knowledge and bless your sustenance. So, ìbéèrè mi wọ́n ti dá ọ̀yọ́ kan níbẹ̀, but relating to trials. So báwo ni a ṣe fẹ́ identify, because to my own understanding, ability to withstand trials, it depends on our human, right? So báwo la ṣe fẹ́ identify calamity, sí trials? Àmọ̀pọ̀lọ́ a máa dán gbogbo wa wò, so a máa ń bí Ọlọ́run pé kọ́lọ́ máa bínú sí wa. So ìbínú Ọlọ́run ṣé trial náà la máa kà sí ni? That's one of it. Then I have another question. So what is required, like in terms of qualities of a masjid to start holding Jummah service?
Even though this is not related to the topic.
Yes, I'm sorry, but
Okay. Yes, let me just respond to that quickly. You see, trial is especially for those who claim to believe. Allah will try everybody. But will especially try those who claim to believe. Believers. Al-Mu'min al-Mujarrab. The believer is the one that is tested and tried. وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ أو وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ. So that ultimately Allah will establish those of you who are sincere and truthful believers and those who are hypocrites. And I've answered that trial is dual. Even our life is trial. Allah has given you eyes, but it is trial. Trial because He has guided, He has enjoined upon you injunctions on how to use your sight and how not to use it. So it's a trial. Your good health is trial. Your knowledge, your wealth, your children, your status, everything is trial. That's why I quoted that verse of the Quran, هذا من فضل ربي, when Sulaiman said, هذا من فضل ربي, this is of one of the favors of my Lord, لِأَبْلُوَنِي, to try me, ashkuru, whether I will show gratitude, am akfur, or I will be ungrateful. And when things go south, it is trial. Allah is trying us. Because life, Baba wani isa ati iyo. So boy, you bani me? Isá pẹ̀lú iyọ̀ la fi máa ń gbé ayé. You know, the waves of the ocean ebbs back and forth. That is the nature of the ocean. It is never still. So life is not static. All right? That is why if we are placed on a machine that analyzes our, breath or heartbeats, it is always undulating. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. They say yes. But if at some point it is straight and then there's a problem. So life is never a straight line. Just like our breathing, our heartbeats is not straight line, it's not flat. Once it is flat, that is the end of life. So you cannot have it, it cannot be all north. Sometimes it is north, sometimes it is south, south, south. That's why I didn't say south, south. I said south, south, south. So that is how everything is trial. When you are applauded, know that Allah is trying you. Alright? And that should give you worry. If you're put down, Allah is trying you. Alright? If you have a good job, it's trial. Because each and every one of us, Allah has provided for us more than we need. Allah will not give you just what you alone need. He will give you more than that. So what you do with the extra is the trial.
That's deeper.
In economics, in our days in school, they say it is the demand and supply, right? And you reach the equilibrium. So, and that is the equilibrium is the
Vmax, separation point. Vmax in chemistry.
So, if there is a glut on the supply side, then the demand side and the price will be affected, because it means there is in the market much more than what people want. Therefore, the price will fall. But what factors? They say there are factors of production. Land, labor, and what? Land, labor, and capital.
Time.
Now, but is this all? This is not all. What happens to supply? Is it natural or artificial? More often than not, we talked before of monopoly. Now we talk of duopoly. But don't let us stray that everything is a test from Allah. And the test is how you handle it. Whether you attribute your misfortune to others or your fortune you attribute to one Baba or one Nakali is also trial from Allah. Allahu A'lam.
Second question.
The second question is, oh, Juma. Yes. For a masjid to qualify to be Juma a masjid, the Fuqaha have said that the neighborhood must at least be able to constantly get 12 people. And they must have the ability, once you start praying Juma in a masjid, you cannot stop it. So you must have the resources to sustain Juma once it is established. You remember back at home in Nigeria, our masajid are divided into two. There are those masajid that are called Ratibi Mosque. Masalasi Ratibi. And in our towns and villages, in the past, there is usually only one Juma mosque. There's only one Jami Masjid. Even in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, alright, the Sahaba had masajid around the neighborhood of the mosque of the Prophet. If you don't know any other, those of you who have been to Hajj, you know Masjid Bilal. You know, so many masajid, Masjid al-Ghamama, so many. There is a place called Masjid al-Jinn. It's around the Prophet Mosque. So many masajid. Because no. Kuba is not within Medina. Kuba is something different. You know, a different story altogether. So once you have these resources and you are reassured, you reassure yourself of the ability to maintain consistency, then it is not the size of a place that determines whether it could be a Jami Masjid or not. Although it is logical that when you want to start a Jami Masjid, that's a masjid in which you pray Juma, you must be futuristic. If you succeed because of the quality of delivery of the Imam, that's what matters. Masajid that are Jami Masajid must have character, particular character. You know, if you go to the Haram today, there are a number of A'imma who lead daily prayers and Juma in rotation. It doesn't used to be like that. It was not like that before. But for our purpose, a masjid must have character. The character of the masjid is personified by the Imam. The masajid that do not have consistent imams are masajid often without character. Because today, this one is looking at this angle, tomorrow another person may even look at something contradictory, and so it is a masjid without character. And it attracts people who only want to fulfill the obligation of praying. More often than not, they come at the tail end of the khutbah. They do not come before. The masajid with character are masajid where they will tell you, if you don't go in good time, you will not have a space inside. So, but the most important requirement is number and the imam to lead. It could be one person, it could be two, that will lead in rotation. But there are other fiqh considerations for an imam that is fit to do imam for 5 daily prayers, and the imam that is fit to do Jummah.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
As for operation?
No, follow-up.
No, that question.
No, read the second.
No,
You're making it very brief. It's just a deep question, but we have other things.
I just want to take this opportunity Assalamu alaikum, Missioner sir. I just want to take this opportunity use the question at the answer the missioner give let's get some temporary closure on question OT come up lóríṣiríṣi for the longest time that this organization will be struggling resolve, and come up tẹ́ bá rántí nígbà tí missioner and boy tá and decide wípé níbo láti má kí Jímọ̀ yẹn or not, and tẹ́ bá notice wípé we didn't make a final decision until alẹ́jọ́ Thursday, because there was a lot of debate, a lot of pressure, a lot of discussion going back and forth láàrin executive mission board consultation pẹ̀lú àwọn àgbàlagbà ẹgbẹ́ and ultimately we defer to the missioner. We presented our case ìjọ Wednesday àbí ìjọ tán dé yẹn wọ́n sinmi ìjọ kan, so ìjọ Thursday gbogbo wa kóra lọ bá wọn present the case wa in ways that we thought, based on what we were hearing from the membership, so we presented our case, and there she got a mission and sing one layout the Islamic requirement of what it would take for us to do to pray Jumat here, and I cannot repeat him. I don't know even how to repeat all the reasons he gave. But at the end of that discussion, a final decision was made. We are not quite there yet. And therefore, that decision and that email message to Jadejo Thursday, and we Ansar-ud-Deen, as we are now, we're not ready to offer Juma prayer. And so I just want to use this opportunity, we will not let it go that so hopefully, at least for now, that question is temporarily resolved. The only thing we ask for will be revisited at the appropriate time, and at appropriate time and place, whether this is the right place for it, whether we have the location, whether we have the right intellectual capital, whether we have everything else that goes around with it, will be revisited later. But for now, you are the Kemafi Walo, Kemafi Wegbe, Kemafi help, they were patient, so more. Wake your law about Ofunwashi like Elijah. Assalamu alaikum.
Padà sí follow up shortly.
Assalamu alaikum. I think I coach you right with rhythm. but you said there is no leaf befallen without the knowledge of Allah.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then,
knowledge and permission.
yes. And then you made another statement saying all of these things has been ordained,
Yes.
meaning planned,
Yes.
inscribed that it will happen.
That's right.
Okay, I was trying to relate these with the sermon that I heard during Ramadan on YouTube. And Imam, they were talking about destiny. And one Imam was saying destiny cannot change. And another one said destiny can be changed with prayers. So, I am kind of confused with the destiny, if it can be changed or not changed, and relating to everything that we're going through is written that something that we're supposed to go through.
Thank you. Very good question. And let me just answer it straight.
Has a follow-up.
No. Follow-ups will derail us. You can ask your question. So, now, you see, there are two verses in the Quran that I've referred to in the course of answering some other questions. One, Allah says, يَمْحُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ. Allah erases whatever He wills. وَيُثْبِتُ. He caused, alright, to be established, whatever He willed. Because the mother of books is with Him. One. In another verse of the Quran, He said, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي. When my servant asks you about me, tell them, وَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. I am very, very near unto them. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ. I answer the invocation and supplication of supplicants whenever they supplicate. And tell them that the condition is فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي. I have called them to certain things that are my injunctions. Let them obey me. وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي. Let them believe in me. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشِدُونَ. Perchance they will be rightly guided. If we read these two verses together and we take the explanation of the prophets when a Sahaba went to him and asked, Ya Rasulullah, is there truly destiny? Is it true that Allah has preordained everything? The Prophet ﷺ said, yes. He said, okay, why don't we just sit down and relax and allow the will of Allah to be done? The Prophet ﷺ said, no. Make efforts, because you do not know what Allah has written for you. Thirdly, Allah has created a number of windows. This is the evidence, the conclusive evidence that He could change destinies. One of the windows, aside from prayer, supplication, dua at any time, is the Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr is a night in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals destinies. فيها يفرق كل أمر حكيم أمرا من عندنا inna kunna munzirin. Say it is a night, yufraku kullu amrin hakim, that every matter is separated with wisdom. We're told that what that means is that Allah reveals destiny. In that night, none of you, and there is nobody in the world who can say this is the destiny that Allah has written for another person, or this is the destiny that Allah has written for me. You don't know. But Allah has said, call me, beg me, I'll give you what you want. He has even said, وَمَنْ يَقْنُتْ مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمُونَ. None despise of the favor of Allah except the unjust. لَا تَقْنَتُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Don't despair, don't give up, on the favor of Allah. So the truth of the matter, and what is established from the Quran and Sunnah, is that there is preordination. But Allah has power over all things. And there is a hadith. He said, Allah has written below the Lawil Mahfuz. After He has written everything, He said, my mercy supersedes my punishment. True, there is destiny, but Allah can change. Because Allah has told us is fa'alul lima yurid, qadirun ala ma yasha. Is qadirun, qadirun, muqtadirun. That is Allah. So is able to change. That is why some people, the Prophet said, give sadaqah, because sadaqah is a means by which Allah can prolong your life. So it means it is possible that Allah has written, short life. But if you give sadaqah and you beg Him, He could lengthen your life. Otherwise, prayer will have no meaning. If destiny cannot change, then why will Allah ask us to pray? So it can change, and is ready to change, and nobody will ask Him why you have changed it. Even if someone has been condemned to poverty, it is the prerogative of Allah to remove him from that list and place him in the Forbes, list. So this is the closest answer to what is in the Quran and the Sunnah.
Takbir. Last but not the least, Alaja Sharifa. Finally. Last but not the least,
Thank you for granting me the floor. So my question is very related to what our sister asked. In the Bible, so Yoruba, you need me to Papa. Yeah, both. I mean, grandma no carry one along. Oh, okay. Excuse me. What did I mean by so? So my question is, it's very related. See, Qadar, destiny and predestiny. If they sometimes can make a decision, let's say relationship, for example. Ẹ̀sọ́ ní wà sí pé ká ní sùúrù, Ọlọ́run ní ká ní sùúrù, ká persistent, ká persevere. Now, in relationships, kéèyàn ní ọkọ àbíyàwó, kí difficulties wà ńbẹ̀. Bóyá ìyàwó yẹn ni kò ní sùúrù, bóyá ọkọ yẹn ni kò ní sùúrù, and all, faraya.
I was sorry to
Wọ́n ṣàfàrígá and the relationship ended. Now, looking back, as we human beings do, we review, we think, in retrospect and say, what did I do wrong? What could I have done? Oh, and then regret set in. Sometimes when you review what you have done, that bóyá ká ní mo ti ní sùúrù sí, bóyá ká ní mo mójú kúrò ní nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀. So what is your responsibility as a person? And you're struggling with this regrets. Bóyá if I had done this and that. Now, kí ni role ti wá ń bẹ̀ as far as destiny and predestiny? Because abáni ká gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ lórí pé àkọọ́lẹ̀ ni a máa ń fi ń console ara wa. A máa fi ń console ara pé wẹ̀ àkọọ́lẹ̀ ni. But ibo ni responsibility wà ń bẹ̀? Ṣé question ni clear there, sir?
Clear. What we must always remember is this, that Allah has made us responsible for so many of our actions. Allah expects that we take responsibility for some of the things, that go wrong in our lives. He has, for instance, told us about the virtues of patience and perseverance. He has told us about the evils of anger. He has extolled the virtues of hope. Over and above all these, Allah has emphasized the primacy of knowledge. Knowledge, efforts. That's why in the Quran, He has said, وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانُ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. And every person will be rewarded or sanctioned for his or her efforts or lack of it. But trust us, Yorubas, it's very, very easy for us to put everything either on God or on Shaitan. Allah says don't drink, don't take intoxicants. A person refused and he got drunk. He jumped into the car and started to rev. The car crashed. He didn't die, but he became disabled for life. And we say, Kadarani. But the truth is that this was exactly the issue during the time of Umar, when there was epidemic in a town. And Umar was in that town. And Umar wanted to leave that town. And somebody went to Umar and said, Ya Khalifa, are you running away from the destiny of Allah? He said, yes. I'm running away from one destiny to another destiny. So, we can say, as a way of explaining this, that there are two sets of destinies. Both are inactive. Your action, your reaction, your interaction can activate either. I don't know whether I'm understood. Everyone has the potentials to succeed. Everyone has the potential to fail. If you make efforts and you pray to Allah, you will avoid that destiny of failure. If you become complacent and fatalistic, no efforts, everything will work. It depends on what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward efforts and will accept prayers and will not allow hard work to fritter away. So be positive, be prayerful, always positive, be hardworking, seek relevant knowledge. You do not know about oil and gas. Just because you have money, you put your money in oil and gas and you lose money, you say it's destiny. It's not destiny, it's your stupidity. Because Allah wants you to learn. Huh? You have not attended any medical school. And you say you are a doctor. No, anybody can call himself anything. And you know that this person is quack. And you take yourself to a quack doctor. You say, well, it is destiny. It is not destiny, it's stupidity and carelessness. So in any way, that's what the Prophet said, لو صبر القاتل لمات المقتول. If the murderer will only be patient, the one you are going to murder will die eventually. It may not be at the instant that you want that person dead, but just be patient and ultimately you will die. So why murder him? However, we must realize that as human beings, we only have relative knowledge, relative abilities. The one who is absolute in knowledge and power is Allah. There are instances you work so hard, you do everything that you are supposed to do, and it doesn't work. Then you can conclude, well, maybe Allah has a better plan for me. But you must do your own bits. You must beg Him. And more often than not, if you do your own bits, you beg Him, you seek relevant knowledge, you do not go into a venture of ignorance. Alright? You just met a fine boy, you don't know his antecedents, you don't know where he's coming from, you don't know anything about him, you have not done any background check, and you just rush into it. You rush out. So Allah.
Takbir.
Adúgbò lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá wa àwọn kádàrá kan wà ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìsinmi ti dáadáa general ìbéèrè yìí àwọn àfisíjọ́ mi lágbára lọ́wọ́.
Kí ló dé fẹ́ wá fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ mi sí jọ mi?
Ẹ bá gbọ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ sùúrù àti mú nọ́mbà tẹ́lẹ̀ àwọn àgbàlagbà bẹ̀rẹ̀
o lè fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ mi sí jọ mi. Kí máa fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ mi sí jọ mi why? Kádàrá. No, kádàrá kan kọ́ lélẹ̀.
general ebi ti ń pa àwọn àgbàlagbà mi wa àdẹ̀fẹ́ fi àsìkò ráàyè.
Kí máa fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ mi sí jọ mi.
So bàbá máa ṣe àdúrà fún wa àbí bàbá ẹni override tí à ń sọ yẹn ṣẹ́fẹ́ tèkì question general ká tó ṣe àdúrà fún wa.
Mo ti sọ fún general lọ bá bàbá lé. Mo ti sọ fún general. General baba mo ti ní tí commander in chief máa ti sọ̀rọ̀ general gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe yes sir.
Baba question mi ò pọ̀ rárá mo kàn fẹ́ kẹ́ clarify nǹkan kankan that's all kò take it 2 minutes.
If answered, come and BBC, you will continue
You know, General,
Sir.
you have access to me.
Okay, sir.
We can always talk.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, once I allow you, I must allow any other person. So it's better we close.
Okay, sir.
because I'm black.
Yes, you know this is America.
If I go into America, I got to take questions to me now.
No, you are white. He is black. Talk. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ọlọ́run adúpẹ́ fún ọ. Ọlọ́run adúpẹ́ fún ọ. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni kéèyàn rò kún fẹ́ sí nǹkan. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni kí nǹkan náà ṣe é sí. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni kọ́nà fọlùbáríkà sí. Ọlọ́run adúpẹ́ fún ọ. Agbèrò pé a fẹ́ ṣe convention. Ó gbà fún wa. Ó jẹ́ kó lọ nírọ̀wọ́rọ̀sẹ̀. Ọlọ́run dákun mọ́ sábà fọlùbáríkà sí. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa pátápátá fún akitiyan wa nítorí Ọlọ́run lọ́sàn lóru láti rí wípé ìpàdé yìí ó yọrí sí rere. Ọlọ́run ọba tá a bá sòwò kò ní jẹ́ ká ṣọ́ọ̀tì láéláé. Ọlọ́run san wọ́n lẹ́san olóore. Ọlọ́run fi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ rọ́pò. Ọlọ́run bùkún wa. Ọwọ́ wa ò ní kan ìsàlẹ̀ àpò. Ọlọ́run lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run bí abùkátà wa. Ọlọ́run sì ka èròǹgbà wa. Ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa la ní bùkátà lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Bùkátà tá a mọ̀ tí agbára wọ̀ ká tàjẹ́ tí mo bá ti gbé gbà agbára Ọlọ́run ká. Ọlọ́run bá wa sí. Ilé ìta àrùpágbára wa ká gan à ń kàn tara wa ni. Ọlọ́run ní bá ẹ̀dá gbé bùkátà. Ọlọ́run sàbà gbé bùkátà wa. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa ọlọ́jẹ́ kí wọ́n yẹ tí. Ọlọ́run fi wọ́n ṣọ̀tá wa. Ọlọ́run fi wọ́n bà wá nínú jẹ́. Ọlọ́run fi wọ́n dààmú wa. Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Abẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọba ọlọ́lá gíga fún àwọn tó ń darí wa ní branch yìí. Lọ́sàn-án lóru wọ́n náwó wọ́n nára. Ọlọ́run dákun bá wa sí wọ́n lẹ́sùn olórí. Ọlọ́run dákun bá wa fi ọ̀pọ̀ rọ́pò fún wọn. Ọlọ́run gbogbo ohun tó dámọ́jú nítorí tiẹ̀ Ọlọ́run dákun bá wa fi fún wọn ní ìsinmi, bá wa fi fún wọn ní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀, gbogbo àdáwọ́lé wọn jẹ́ kó yọrí sí rere, gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìyá wa Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jèrè, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jèrè, Ọlọ́run má dá yín láàmú, Ọlọ́run má fi yín ṣẹ̀sín, Ọlọ́run má lé kú onídìí ẹrù yín, Ọlọ́run má fẹ́ lòmíì sí yín, ọlá Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Oúnjẹ ọmọ kò sí oúnjẹ tó dùn tó ìgbà tí gbogbo ìgbà tí a máa ń jẹ oúnjẹ ọmọ ọlọ́mọdé kòrò lẹ́nu yín, ọlọ́mọdé gbóná jù nǹkan tí ẹnu yín lè gbà lọ, ọlá Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run, ọlá Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run, ọlá Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. ADSNA, Ansar-ud-Deen Society North America, Ọlọ́run mọ́sà kọ́ wa mọ́ sí i, má da ṣètọ́n sí wa láàrin, má da èdè wa rú, fún wa láṣeyọrí, kó dáa ju bá a ṣe gbèrú lọ, má fi bú wa Ọlọ́run, má fi dà wá láàmú Ọlọ́run. Nígbà tá a bá tún fi máa jòkó lọ́dún tí ń bọ̀, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká tún pọ̀ jù báyìí lọ, kí owó wọn tó pọ̀ jù báyìí lọ, àwọn tó ń tí ì dé Ọlọ́run tó dé yàtọ̀ fún ti jìbìtì, àwọn tó lọ́n ti sínà fún Ọlọ́run mọ́jú dí, àwọn tó ń tọrọ ọ̀nà tuntun kọ́lọ̀ bá a sí fún wọn, kí ilé wa lójú, kọ́nà wa ráyè, kí ara wa yá, kí ọkàn wa balẹ̀, ọlá Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run, ọlá Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ìyá wa tí wọ́n wà lórí ìrìn àjò tí wọ́n padà lọ, Ọlọ́run bá wa fi sọ̀rọ̀ sọ wọn dé àyè wọn, jẹ́ kí wọ́n bá líláyọ̀, má fi wíwá tán wá bí yìí, má fi sọ ADSNA ní orúkọ burú, Al-Qur'ani lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ wa àkúlé ọlọ́wọ́, Allahumma anta bi hawaijina alimun wa ala qada'iha qadirun famnun alayna bi qada'iha ya azizu ya ghaffar ya rabbal alamin. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin.
Ní agbára Ọlọ́run, àsàlátù ti parí wáyé, a dẹ̀ ti parí 2017 ADSNA convention inshallah. Ìtí ó kù òun náà ní sponsor program tí a ní tí a fẹ́ ṣe fìdáhùn fún Imam Ansar-ud-Deen tí wọ́n ṣaláìsí lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ẹni tí Ọlọ́run bá yọ̀ǹda fún àwọn ọ̀jọ̀mọ́ wa kí wọ́n sì dúró, àmọ́ àsàlátù ti parí, tá a bá níbi tá a fẹ́ lọ officially yẹn ti parí, a fẹ́ bọ́ sínú fìdáhùn yẹn níbi ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún sí bàtà wa, kọ́ ló máa ṣe fún wa ṣe, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí ọdún jìnnà síra wa, àwọn tí wọ́n ti kọjá náà Ọlọ́run bá ṣe bá fi ìkẹ́kù ìkẹ́ wọn, Ọlọ́run bá fi ìkẹ́kù ìkẹ́ wọn, Ọlọ́run ṣe wọ́n ní sọ̀rọ̀ ayé àrùjọ náà, Ọlọ́run bá ṣe wọ́n lọ́wọ́ náà. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين آمين آمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Hotel yẹn ló ń gbé bọ̀ sí bọ̀ mo sọ wọ́n pé kó pè mí tó bá ti wà mo ní kó pè mí ní o.